lot of damage. We keep seeing the one same video from Jamaica. Oh, this is the new one. There we go. I'm going to repost this on the Twitter. Some decent wind gusts.
Can you send that to me?
Yes. And unfortunately, we just don't have the means to get a lot of data. We are just waiting for the landfall of Melissa. But I remember talking about this last night with the viewers on David's stream about the potential of the storm intensifying after a merger Iowa replacement cycle. She will likely do a decent jump in intensity. And that's exactly what's happening, actually. That's exactly what she did. And I believe if 1 o'clock is about to come out, if it's we are waiting currently for a new position update. We are now waiting for landfall, which I believe is about to happen. The NHC just needs to update their position. This is where Mbot comes in, so I can get it immediately. So the tropical cyclone update, TCU, will likely say landfall in a second. Mere minutes from landfall, so I think they're going to wait for the landfall before posting their update. We don't have any more photos. There we go. Okay, we got breaking news here for the National Hurricane Center. And I believe this is true. That Category 5 Melissa makes landfall in Jamaica, one of the most powerful hurricane landfalls on record in the Atlantic Basin. Melissa has made landfall in southwestern Jamaica near New Hope, with winds up to 185 miles an hour and a pressure of 892 millibars. And there we go. National Hurricane Center has officially called landfall. Hurricane landfall near New Hope, Jamaica. If I'm correct, that is right next to White House, Jamaica. Yes. We got the landfall right. Landfall has officially occurred. 185 miles an hour, 892 millibars. One of the strongest landfalls ever recorded in the Atlantic. The only other landfall to do that was the Labor Day hurricane of 1935. Sacred, hi Sacred, welcome. It's tied with Labor Day, but I see what you mean. Is the second strongest, or you can technically say the strongest ever because they're both tied. One of the strongest landfalls ever recorded in Atlantic history has just occurred. Someone says wrong. Wilma and Gilbert had lower pressures. Actually, Dogfather, that is incorrect. It had stronger pressures, but it did not make landfall as those stronger pressures. Gilbert was 900 millibars. Wilma had the eyewall replacement cycle at a Cat 4 near landfall on the Yucatan island of Cancun. I believe that's what it's called. I'm likely right with that. Just want to make sure. Cancun? The island of... Is it Cancun? I'll check it. Or near, at least right next to Cancun. So yeah, we did have... This is the strongest storm in Atlantic history. So officially, we have someone said didn't hear the landfall part. It's all right, man. We all make mistakes, but yes, landfall has occurred in Jamaica, and unfortunately, she is still 185. The strengthening phase, she will likely sustain for the next 30 minutes at least due to brown ocean effect. There's no however lightning in her eye wall. After that sustaining moment, she will slowly begin to feel the effects of land and begin to weaken. So we are expecting a very horrible time. So again, if we haven't heard the news from the National Hurricane Center, if you're just tuning in, landfall has occurred around New Hope on the very eastern part near the border of the Westmoreland Parish and St. Elizabeth Parish in Jamaica. Winds 185 miles an hour with a pressure of 892 millibars. Tied with the strongest landfall ever recorded in the history before was Labor Day hurricane. And we will likely... This storm has broken so many records. And that river. Unfortunately, we don't have... So she has no... So it does look like that, and that satellite imagery on David's side, by the way, it seems pretty old unless it updates the landfall. But yes, he has officially made landfall. And one more thing, just to note, is the this is wild because we do gotta realize that ever since 2000 and ever since 2017, we have kept having Category 5 hurricane landfalls. So we have another Category 5 landfall in just the last 10 years. When you hear Interlanti. I'm going to send this photo because this was a little bit before. That's absolutely furious here. I'm gonna send multiple things on my Twitter here of the conditions of some of the damage and that is going on here. That is just this is just absolutely incredible what she has done here. And real quick for people that do not have my Twitter as I'm posting these, this is my Twitter name here. I'm going to post on the chat. I'm going to spell it out real quick. Capital T RISTAN 3548041. And we are going to keep trying to give as many updates as possible. At this point, when you reach landfall, there's not really any updating to do. The storm has already done its grand finale, at least one out of the few. But we have a very serious situation. Let me see if we have any more damage reports coming in. I am using Twitter. If y'all have any more actual good websites to where we can get some damage that you would like to post them, you can. This is let me see. This is Jamaica. This is I'm gonna repost this. Downs Mancaster, showing a lot of this is this is a lot of insane footage that is going on over here. There's absolutely incredible stuff going on. So since landfall has occurred, people are asking what is Twitter. So one more time. No, I'm gonna do it slower this time. I do talk fast sometimes. I do apologize for that. So my Twitter is Tristan354 80341. That is my Twitter for damage and all of that. I haven't changed my name in a while, so I will likely have to change my name eventually, make it much easier. But we have officially have landfall in parts of Jamaica. Catastrophic situation here. And unfortunately, we're just gonna keep getting damage reports. Wow. And I wish David was here for landfall too, but he was working very hard with the team last night when I left to provide information, and I'm very grateful that people like David are in this community to help protect people's lives and try to get the information in there. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure this is not okay. Let me make sure this post is not a. Yep, this is from the Jamaica medical thing. Definitely some roof damage. Yep, I just heard the news anchor in my background. Cat 5 landfall in Jamaica. Thank you so much.
Every place that they mentioned, I've been there.
Thank you so much. And real quick, chat, let me take a bite of bread. As salute to this stream. There we go. There we go. So right now, we are continuing the coverage of landfall in Jamaica. Someone said, thank you so much, David. No, it's Lava's taking over for David because he is asleep. But I do appreciate y'all being here. There's a check, and please check a camera from the New York Times. Oh yes, Sakura, if you didn't hear, Sakura was oh my god. I'm tired. David was up all night, he's asleep, so I'm taking over for him for a few hours here. That's the only reason why I'm on here. Otherwise, I would technically still be asleep because Melissa has exhausted everybody in the forecasting team here. We're going to continue. We're trying to get as many images as possible here. And this is just stuff going on. Oh my god. So the damage that is occurring right now is from that big roof damage was coming from the Black River capital of St. Elizabeth Parish. That was a building that had part of the building and roof collapsed. So that is absolutely ridiculous here. And we are going to there's just going to be more pictures and images that are going to keep saying the same thing. We're likely going to see rivers overflowing, as we can see on that camera on Sea Jamaica. We are seeing the waters rapidly rise due to all the rainfall and the wind flow not allowing the this is going to be, unfortunately, a very horrible storm. And I hope whoever is chasing this is also okay, because I saw someone just say a storm chaser might be trapped somewhere on our chat, and I hope that's real information. If that is, that's very concerning. And chat, we've been talking about the pattern of Melissa for the last few days. She kept doing, she kept sustaining herself during the day, getting herself organized, and then at night, all that energy finally gets transferred atmospherically to the ground. So, and then also welcome Zachary in the chat. Yes, Zachary, you're correct. Josh Moorman knows exactly what he's doing. He even posted a video on X yesterday doing some tips on how he goes into hurricanes when he chases them. So that is correct. Oh, this is just another image. Oh, the images just keep coming in on my Twitter. Let me see something here. I don't think anyone's able to fill for me. No one is not. So I'm still here for a little while. And one more thing to mention, and I want to say something to our chat here. The National Hurricane Center actually did almost get this completely right. I know they weren't expecting 185 miles per hour, but they did expect a Category 5 hurricane and the evolution of the storm to be a monster as the models continue to move west. The GFS and parts of the ship's model have a bias, so that means they were going to follow the trough, but we knew better to know that it was not going to follow the trough beforehand, and that is exactly what happened, and the result is a landfall in Jamaica. Catastrophic situation going on here. I want to see this. Oh my god. A lot of water here. Wow. House submerged in floodwater at Cave Valley, St. Anne, Jamaica. Parts of St. Elizabeth Parish is getting devastating, damaging winds. The power lines didn't get knocked down yet, though. I wonder if that's because that's in a part of St. Elizabeth that is not near the eye wall. Yeah, I bet you near the eye wall, power lines are, in some cases, could get snapped. Excuse me. Oh yeah, that is a part of the roof of the medical center got torn apart. There's just incredible footages here. Again, for people that don't know, I am posting, since I can't post it on David's stream. I am posting the damage scenes on my Twitter, which is Tristan 354-80341. And that is where we're going to be putting all the damage photos. If David wants to see some of the damage photos, I will give him my Twitter too, just to make sure he is up to date on what's going on in Jamaica. But right now he's asleep, and he needs it. In higher elevations, the winds will definitely be stronger, but likely about 200 mile per hour gust at least. In the higher elevations here. Another thing to keep in mind is that because Jamaica has had some time without rain before Melissa, it could do a Helene effect. Remember when Hurricane Helene did all those mudslides and landslides because the ground was so dry before the storm hit? That's unfortunately what really might happen even on the hills of Jamaica. It doesn't have to be on the mountains. So very unfortunately, we are going to have a bit more of a dangerous situation than everyone thought of. And I really, really hope that people, and I'm guessing the areas where people are walking live on the camera, I do believe that is in eastern Jamaica, because if you're in western Jamaica, there's no way people are going to walk in flying debris and floodwaters. That has to be parts of the eastern part of the island of Jamaica. Very much. We have watched history. There are so many records that she has done before our eyes. This is TV news from Jamaica. A lot of trees and boulders have fallen on the Skyline Drive in St. Andrew, making it impassable. Putting it on my Twitter now. Just wow. Just an incredible storm. Just trying to get any more videos or information going on, but as the power continues to be cut out, as internet continues to be cut out in western parts of Jamaica, we will likely. Sam said, Fox News said that it has made landfall near New Hope. That was just a tiny bit ago, so it's not very old news. It's not very old news, but landfall occurred 27 minutes ago, but it's still fairly new news. So yes. Someone said, "Hey brother, can you show live stream on channel Tornado Page?" No, because of copyright concerns. Unfortunately, that's how YouTube is. Some people don't like you using your other content, even in serious situations. I don't know if that person is like that, but we got to consider that. Unfortunately, we can't. What I can do, though, is look at other streams of chasers and the cameras in Jamaica off screen. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that stream just came on my YouTube. So I'm gonna watch it with y'all if somebody is on here. Mandeville. It looks like she is in Mandeville. So I wonder what views we're going to see here. Oh, looks like we do have power lines sparking. This is some video coming from Balcom Drive in Kingston, Jamaica, showing some winds. Man, all these videos coming out of Jamaica, all the flooding and the wind, are just incredible stuff. Someone says, how long is the storm supposed to be over Jamaica? That is a great question. The storm is supposed to be over Jamaica. It's supposed to be over Jamaica. A good calculation based off the speed and where she made landfall, 4 to 5 hours. Maybe 6. We do got to consider that the trough will make her move a little bit faster. So it could be in between 4 to 6 hours. So 4 to 6 hours is a pretty good guess based on the dynamics of the trough combined with her forward speed right now. Oh, looks like that camera near Sea Jamaica. That camera near Sea Jamaica seems to be loading. It might be down. So real quick, we're going to... So it's moving at 9 miles per hour. So that is 25 miles of land, which I believe it is. 25 miles divided by 9 will be around... One second. Yeah, most likely around 4 to 6 hours. We also have to determine the trough. It might speed up a little bit due to that. So yes, 4 to 6 hours is a pretty good calculation of how long she'll likely be on land, considering that she is going to be in a little bit of a narrow strip of Jamaica due to her doing that western wobble. And remember, we're likely going to have a lot of, we are likely going to have a lot of images of not in the western side because power and internet are going out. Remember, these cameras are likely in eastern Jamaica because the western side is without internet and power, or is in the process of getting their internet and power removed. So if we see calmer conditions on some of the cameras, they're likely around eastern Jamaica, around Kingston. Unfortunately, no, but we do know the rainfall totals. If I were to give an estimate right now on how much rainfall has fallen, with the forecast, let's do the forecast real quick. The forecast right now in central Jamaica is 20 to 30 inches of rain. Considering that a bunch of bands were already there, and because of the mountain lift, I would not be surprised if at least 9 inches of rain have fallen on Jamaica so far. At least 9, but remember, I just woke up, so it might be a bit more rain. I'm trying to get as many updated videos and stuff. And real quick, I'm going to put a post on the comparison of that river. Last night when David was on, that river was just starting to rush a little bit. It wasn't that dangerous. You could see the bridge, and now right now, you can't even see the bridge anymore. Let's see something. The location of might be around definitely some rainy, windy conditions over there. Not as intense as what's going on in Western Jamaica. More Western Jamaica, it looks like, around the core of the storm. But that would just be too dangerous. Oh, definitely some wind gusts picking up though, where she is right now. Of course, we're not going to show it because we don't want any copyright issues. But I am checking other cameras and stuff. And apparently, let me see this. That's from Westmoreland, so that's likely on some of the winds are calmer. So that's likely on the western side of the storm where it's a little bit calmer. But there is likely, I believe that is some damage. I'm going to repost that. But again, landfall is officially about to be 1 hour ago, which is insane. And one more thing. And let's look at the Go Sits team real quick, because looking at satellite might help us depict on what she's doing. That yep, the eye is still on shore. But remember, the storm is likely going to speed up from the trough. So at least 4 hours over Jamaica. So 4 to 6 seems like a very, very good math of how long she's going to be over Jamaica. So right now she is moving back to the northeast. She briefly took a western wobble due to the mountains on parts of the southern coast. But now she is finally going back to the northeast. She is going to the northeast. So 4 to 6 hours. Yep, that is actually a very correct timetable of how long she'll likely be on Jamaica. And it's near close to an hour, and her eye just started being near central Jamaica. So yes, West Central Jamaica. So yes, it looks like a good estimate is 4 to 6 hours, considering trough speed, considering her movement northeast at 9 miles an hour. Her core is so stable. Someone asked Lava, do you think it will hit Canada? No, because of the trough. Unless the upper level low from the United States comes in and for some reason makes her do a left turn, Canada will likely not get a direct core, but due to the unknowns of how big she's edge tropical, a area that I would watch out for maybe gale force winds. It's going to likely be as tropical by then, but most likely Newfoundland. If there's any place in Canada that could get some gale force winds from this storm, it would be Newfoundland, based on that tropical transition. But that is too far out, considering the evolution of Melissa is unknown at this time, besides weakening. But the convective evolution is somewhat unknown because the Jamaican radar doesn't work for me for some reason. What I could do, though, is reload Cuba's radar and see if we could get a good estimate on what she is doing. So Cuba radar looks like is about, it's a tiny bit behind, but it does show the moment she did make landfall on Doppler radar in Cuba. Remember when we talked about the Helene effect, where some of the water and mudslides would go? There is a deadly flow of water going down the mountain right now. I just posted that on X/Twitter. And again, for people that don't have it, it is, one more time, it is Tristan 3548041. So let me also give that to the group, just in case you want to look at it right here. There we go. All right. Continuing coverage of Melissa, as we are looking for damage photos. I think the Jamaican radar might be down. I will have to look here. And again, if you are enjoying the coverage and want to see more coverage from both David and the weather team, especially with last night and today, please subscribe to him. He works hard. He is an awesome individual. And I hope we can continue doing coverages like this. Let me see here. Man, Melissa's been a very confusing storm. And real quick, I just want to repost a track of Melissa at the landfall. Due to her steering currents and her DMAXs and stuff, she has a confusing track in the Caribbean. Let me see here. Any more? This is just a really, really. Ooh, this is a really bad situation. Flat Bridge is now covered by the river. That was 4 hours ago. I do apologize if I'm quiet sometimes. It is really hard to get a lot of information. Ooh, this is getting chaotic here. Yeah, I can't believe it either, East Side. I can't believe. No word yet on a hurricane watch for Bermuda. It's coming, Sakura. The track says it's coming. Just wait tonight or tomorrow, due to the NHC timeline. And again, there's really no point in going over the messages again for Jamaica, because Jamaica, we all know what's going on over there. But I do want to do the key messages for the other. I want to do the key messages for other areas. For Haiti and Dominican Republic, catastrophic flash flooding and landslides are expected across southwestern Haiti and southern portions of the Dominican Republic for midweek. In Haiti, extensive damage and isolation of isolation of communities is likely. Tropical storm conditions are expected later today or Wednesday. In eastern Cuba, which is our next landfall spot, heavy rain, flash flooding, and landslides are expected soon. Life-threatening storm surge and damaging winds are likely to begin later today. Complete all preparations now. Southeastern to central Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, hurricane conditions, life-threatening storm surge, and heavy rainfall is suspended across portions of the southeastern to central Bahamas on Wednesday. Complete preparations by tonight and follow your local guidance. Tropical storm conditions, heavy rains, and significant storm surge are expected in the Turks and Caicos Islands. And for our friends in Jamaica, due to the beginning of not friends in Jamaica, I am stuttering. Due to our friends in Bermuda, there could be a chance, there's definitely a chance of at least a tropical storm watch later on. Hurricane watches are unknown due to how far east she will go, but by its tropical transition, there is some potential of tropical storm force winds at least on the Bermuda. And let's go to the wind probabilities here on the National Hurricane Center. If it can load, because I know a lot of people have been doing it. So Bermuda right now in tropical storm force winds has a 70 to 80% chance of tropical storm force winds by the National Hurricane Center. So we are definitely likely going to get at least a hurricane watch. As we look at the hurricane conditions, let's look at hurricane wind speed probability here. That's interesting. So yeah, at least a tropical storm watch. 70% chance of tropical storm. There is a 70% chance for tropical storm conditions in Bermuda. Right now, there is a 10 to 20% chance of hurricane conditions there. Let's go to the 50-knot wind speed probability. 50 knot, which is at least 60 miles an hour, is a healthy 40 to 50%. So we are definitely going to likely get a tropical storm watch for Bermuda. At least. Hurricane watch is, again, unknown due to the strength and the speed and the evolution. But at least by the National Hurricane Center graph combined with the tropical storm force winds, I would 100% expect a tropical storm watch for Bermuda pretty soon. And normally they do it, and we can actually we could go to the advisory real quick do their messaging. Let's see if they have the messaging on the timing of a hurricane and tropical storm watches here. But the normal rule is so yes, during the hurricane and tropical storm watch, it would be issued typically 48 hours from the storm. If we look at the track, it is now, the track is 11 a.m. I wish they did a 2 o'clock. I don't think they released the 2 o'clock cone. Which is, I know did. 1 second. Let me see if they did. If they not, we're going to have to go off that cone. No, they did not. They did an 11 a.m. cone. Okay. So, oh no, 2 p.m. is about to happen. So they're about to update the cone. But 8 p.m. Thursday, the storm is suspected to be at least to the southwest to southwest of Bermuda by 8 p.m. Thursday. But most likely, if we consider that timing, tropical storm watches will likely occur if the storm keeps getting closer to Bermuda. Tropical storm watch will likely occur if it's the 48-hour rule, maybe 5 to 8 p.m. today. We will see. But yeah, so for our friends in Bermuda, 5, 8, 11 p.m. should be your tropical storm watch at least. There could be a hurricane watch, though, considering the H is right next to them. And if the trough makes it move a little bit more eastward, that's next to Bermuda. That's even closer to Bermuda. All right, let's find some more damage photos here. Let's see if we can find some more here. Fallen tree damage located around Riverside Road in Hanover, in Jamaica here. Oh, that's interesting. We got some news, and I don't know if this is true. Give me 1 minute to listen to this audio, y'all. 1 minute. I want to make sure this news is confirmed for y'all. One of the the disaster coordinator for the Westmoreland Parish, and this is coming from the local government minister of Jamaica right now, which is, or at least Westmoreland, which is Demon McKinsley. It looks like that the warning coordinator for Westmoreland Parish has suffered a stroke and had to be admitted to the hospital while correlating disaster efforts. So the disaster coordinator might have suffered a stroke. This is actually coming from the local government minister. So that is really unfortunate timing, and I hope the person that was carrying out the duties and haven't had a stroke, I hope they are I hope she does okay and recovers in the hospital. I hope she does okay. But that is actual news because that came from government minister. The again, the disaster coordinator suffered a stroke. That's what stress does to you. Yes. Yes, prayers to the disaster coordinator. And it's on my Twitter too. I just posted it there. Okay, Hurricane Melissa immediate advisory. Extremely dangerous. Category 5 Hurricane Melissa is crossing western Jamaica. Catastrophic winds and flash flooding and storm surge are occurring on the island. The National Hurricane Center has dropped the storm to 165 miles an hour. It is moving north-northwest at 8 miles per hour. The central pressure is 899 millibars. Hurricane warnings continue in effect for, of course, Jamaica and the Cuban provinces of Granma, Santiago de Cuba, Guanaco, Ogun, La Tunis, and the southeastern to central Bahamas. A tropical storm warning is in effect for Haiti, the Cuban province of Gami, and the Turk and Caicos Islands. She is now a 165 mile per hour storm with a pressure of 899 millibars. So she is starting to feel the effects of land, but if it was mountains, it would be a lot more. It would be around 155 right now. So that's telling me that she's not feeling. She's not rapidly weakening because she's already near West Central Jamaica and she just got 165. She is now slower at 8 miles per hour. So, like we said, 4 to 6 hours over land seems like a very respectful time zone. Give me 1 second. I gotta post this info to a group, really smart group chat here. And we're just getting more images of what's going on. So again, the two pieces of breaking news we have going on right now is one, again, one more time for people that has just joined us, the disaster coordinator of Westmoreland's Parish in Jamaica has suffered a stroke while carrying out her duties with Hurricane Melissa. This was confirmed by the local government minister, Desmond McKinsley. The other breaking news is that she is now 165 miles an hour with a pressure of 899 millibars. So that is the two pieces of news right now that is big during her. Oh my god. Wow. The energy minister, Daryl Vass, says about 240,000 people are without power. That is likely rising. Let me see if I can get Jamaican power outages real quick. Oh my god. Give me 1 second. I gotta get this information to you. Power outages. Map, please. Let me see if this is a good site to get them in. Okay. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Power outage map, please. Okay. Okay, hold on. Never mind. That's not the right one. So no, I cannot get power outage report. So 240,000 people. Yep, at least 240,000 people without power, and that is likely rising. So what was that scream? Oh, sorry. I do have like my grandma's watching a show, and yeah, I do apologize if you heard that a little bit of background noise. I do apologize for that if you could hear that. I don't mean for that stuff to happen. Give me a second. I hope someone can cover for me for just 1 second. That's all I need here. Is anybody on my server able to cover for me that is on here? No, unfortunately not. Okay. Chat. I will be gone for just 1 minute. It's actually an emergency. Give me 1 minute. I will be right back. Hello, guys. I am back, like I said. All right, so let's keep doing some information on Melissa. Again, my Twitter /X is Tristan35480341. For anybody that's new that wants some of the pictures and some of the information that we are getting as Melissa continues to hit Jamaica. Excuse me. But yes, we do have very. There's not a lot happening in the way, unfortunately, in terms of data, because power outages are going out and all that. We are not going to be able to get all the info that is going on over there. It's like what happens a bit after a tornado hits a certain area. We're not going to get pictures immediately, especially in a country like Jamaica, where power is really going out and they are somewhat isolated. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get all that here. What we can do while we are waiting is get some of the mesoscale data from Go16. while we are waiting here, the eye temperature on water vapor has risen to negative 23.8 Celsius. If you were here with David a bit ago, the lowest record happened with negative 2.25, and it might have been a little bit lower considering data on graphs. So this storm has been an absolute historical monster. It looks like by the Ghost 16 satellite, if we were to be correct here, the eye is likely located. Let's get Google here. So we made landfall. So we can trace that a little bit. We made landfall around New Hope. That's the White House. We went a little bit to the west because of the mountains, and then we're going back to the northeast. So the position of the eye right now would be the center of Hurricane Melissa will likely be, if we look at the very center of the eye, we correlate it to we do the math near Monaco Bay. The eye of Melissa is likely located in between the towns of Seafort Town and Darlston, the very center of the eye, with the Ghost 16 imagery. And by the way, if y'all have any questions about this storm, I will gladly be able to answer them while we are still talking here. If y'all have any questions, but I will be flipping between Twitter and the stream, so please understand that I may not get to them immediately. I want to see real quick the infrared here. Not visible. We know visible is likely spectacular somewhat. Let's go to the infrared. I want to see the trend on the cloud tops if she's been making landfall. Her cloud tops have actually stayed steady so far in her life on the Jamaican landfall. So she definitely still has a pretty intact core. So she has a pretty decent intact core on the infrared, even when she is making landfall over there. One more time for people. I'm gonna post it too. Hopefully, I'm gonna post the name. I'm not gonna post the link because I know the link may not working. Again, it is capital TRISTAN 3548 0341 is my Twitter. That I'll be posting some of the news I get on there here. Interesting. But yes, if y'all have any questions, if you do have any questions, I would like to answer them. Someone said, do you personally think it was 190 due to that one drop song? Maybe. I do talk to Alder and some people on there on a group chat, including Andy Hazelton, who was one of the people on Recon that got that right before the storm was near landfall. The drop song, I do think the 190 was Gus, but there was definitely 185 mile per hour winds sustaining by the data. So it's definitely 185 miles an hour. 190 will all depend on how they interpreted that data right before landfall. And one more thing to mention, and I will say that a lot of the freshwater reserves are right where the storm surge is coming in. So I'm really hoping that those freshwater reserves are safe and are not being contaminated right now. Because if they're being contaminated right now, then that's not good because that could lead to a humanitarian crisis. Welcome, Easy.
Good morning.
Good morning. Storm made landfall at 185 miles an hour.
185. Goodness gracious.
Basically, besides Labor Day, the strongest. She's 165 now. Let's see. And Davis is asleep, so I'm covering for him right now
Okay.
until we get some things here. The super lieutenant Coleridge Mental, the head of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, has confirmed that the road leading to the Black River Hospital is now blocked due to the worsening conditions from Hurricane Melissa. As a result, we are currently housing several residents at the police station as we continue to go above and beyond to keep the residents and visitors of the island safe. The Jamaica Constabulary Force shared a update. Emergency teams are urging motorists to avoid the area as authorities work to ensure public safety amid ongoing rain and flooding concerns in the parish. We're going to repost this. So let's see again. So again, the eye is likely around the areas heading towards Darleston and near Seaford Town as she continues to move inland. She is moving northeast at 8 miles an hour. We didn't think it was going to slow down a tiny bit more due to the trough, but apparently she has slowed down a little bit more. So 4 to 6 hours.
It's more west than we were expecting, right?
I'm a little bit more west. The only reason why the landfall was more west, actually, it was heading towards central Jamaica, but the mountains influenced her winds and made her have to wobble west. So a lot of people were thinking it's going to go to central Jamaica. I thought it was going to go to western due to the effects of the terrain, because mountains can have a effect on the vortex, and that seems to what have occurred here. So it does look like that is a rushing river. Oh my god. Again, I'm posting interesting here. Let's see here. And we got some. Okay, yep. So it looks like Cave Valley, Jamaica, is flooding. By the reports and pictures coming out of Jamaica. And yes, the good news is that Kingston got a very lucky, and I mean it's extremely lucky. If those mountains did not make it do a western wobble, we would have likely had a northeastern movement all the way, and Kingston would have got a even more dirtier side. But because of those mountains helping her wobble, that saved Kingston from having some of the worst conditions. Still, as she starts to move northeast again, Kingston could get some decent conditions. What's the speed in millibars? Are you talking about wind? If you're talking, we're gonna do both of the wind, both the speeds there. She is moving northeast at 8 miles an hour. The winds right now are 165 miles per hour with a pressure of 899 millibars. That's. I didn't know if you're asking for direction or wind speeds. I did both. Please pray for Jamaica. I agree. They're going to need all the help they can get in Western Jamaica. Now, Western Jamaica, I believe I'm going to go to Jamaica population, is a bit less populated than Eastern Jamaica. I think. You could correct me if I'm wrong. But I do believe that Western Jamaica is a bit more less populated. Yes, okay. So that's in 2011. I want a modern version. I want to make sure I get this information right. Jamaica population 2025. The population is 2,836 something. Yes, we know that, but I need to see the density. I don't want to see the population itself, even though it is near 3 million people. I do want to see population density, please. Oh, this might give me. Yes, a lot of the population is on the eastern side of the mountain. There are a decent amount of communities on the north side. So if we got any good news, even though we are still going to have a lot of people impacted, it seems like the track of Melissa will be in an area where it's not as densely populated. On the one hand, that's good news because that means less people get the effects of the major parts of the storm. The bad news is, though, whoever does get it, it might take longer for emergency operations to get to them. And that's what happened in Puerto Rico during Maria, or one of the reasons why Maria's support took so long. So again, this is legit sounding like.
I will be right back.
Okay. Montego Bay has a large community. Yes, it does, but in terms of the core of the storm, Montego Bay will not get the core. We're talking about the path of the core of the storm. And Montego Bay is on the western side of the storm, even if they get the core. So they'll be a little bit more okay. Normally, the western side is the weaker side in a lot of hurricanes. So I do expect them to be okay. Unfortunately, though, the only way we can track the core, besides the GOES 16 satellite, is Cuban Doppler radar. And unfortunately, that is a little bit delayed. I will say, the western eye wall, if she doesn't go completely northeast on Cuban radar, which is a little bit behind, could skirt the Bay Area. It could, in a way, barely be there. So they're definitely going to get some conditions on the western side. Definitely. Someone says Black River is right next to the core. Yes, it is right to the core. That's where some of the worst storm surge might be occurring. I know the area is Alligator. Montego Bay. Thank you. Black River is right near the core. Yes, it is. It made landfall near White House. So again, just for iteration, Black River is located on the St. Elizabeth Parish. That's also where Crane Corner, Sandy Ground, Clawford, Font Hill, the area of, and then just past that, on the Westmoreland Parish is White House, which got the very eastern part of the eye wall. New Hope, where the center of the eye made landfall. And because the eye is so wide, some of White House or all of White House might have also been briefly in the eye in Jamaica. But yes, for reference point to what that person was talking about, yes. Let me make sure the chat is up to speed. Okay, we're doing good here. Well, if your friends are in, I hope they are doing okay and they took their safety precautions. It's really unfortunate here. The window on the top right of the screen. I couldn't get that actually. David has slept. We will ask David, but I know it's a channel called See Jamaica. My friend Trevor has more information on that. I don't think he's available right now. Well, I hope they are safe from the water. You can run from you can hide from the wind, but you got to run from the water. I hope they are doing okay. Yeah, we got video from that. We've already posted that on Twitter. Hasn't officially made landfall yet. Boss play at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Melissa did make landfall, so it's been an hour since she has made landfall. That's a good question, though. The eye has shrunken a lot. Yes, it has actually. It has shrunk a lot, and that is because of the interaction of land. However, the brown ocean effect may be causing her to sustain decently, but her slow movement will take a toll on her in Jamaica. I do believe she will likely be a mid-end category for around 140, 145 by the time she gets off Jamaica. Which is, it makes sense because why does the middle image show the hurricane off the coast? David put a time lapse of the whole storm here. Someone asks, have you gotten any rest, man? David is going to get rest. I had woken up an hour and 30 minutes ago. I did get some good rest. No, it's just exhaustion due to her. But David is resting right now. Asynchrony, the hurricane has caused any devastating impacts yet. We'll get worse or better from here. You're talking about Saint Canina and so let me search you up here. I want to make sure you get the latest information. Saint Croix, Jamaica. If you are in, okay, so this parish is next to Kingston. Y'all got lucky because the core made landfall on New Hope, which is the other side of the which is in the other side of the island. At first it was going to be Kingston, but because she moved more south and west due to the intensification and because of the western wobble by the mountains that caused her to go a little bit west, St. Grenada may be okay. We cannot deny tropical storm force winds, some trees, some power lines down, potentially, depending on what's going on over there. But at least for the hurricane force winds, yes, St. Catalina will be okay. There could be a bit more heavy rainfall, though, later on as she moves east due to the trough. So there is definitely going to be some tropical storm force conditions, or at least gusts over there, since your wind gradient is pretty tight right now. We can't be 100% on it though because of Jamaica's terrain and stuff too. But I hope that answers your question in that area of Jamaica. Any chance Melissa could re-strengthen after Jamaica before hitting Cuba? There is somewhat of a chance. You know, when troughs help storms breathe, they're able to do some outflow. And since she's moving a little slower than normal, I wouldn't be surprised if she did St. Catherine. Okay. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I'd have a little bit of a problem with some words with my tongue. It's just always been that way. So I apologize if it sounds a little wrong. But yes, there is a chance. I mean, she may re-strengthen a little bit. But because of the shear coming from the trough balancing out with the outflow, I don't think she will explosively strengthen. If anything, she'll likely just re-strengthen back to a high or mid-end 4, which is still very dangerous considering where it's hitting due to the mountains of Cuba. But at least in terms of Category 5 intensity, we will have to see. I don't think so, because she will be recovering from the landfall first and then strengthening. But I don't think she's going to go back to level 5. And I know Weather Kingdom and all of them we're panicking about her going back to level 5. But the actual meteorology, no. No. I'm answering your questions here. Let's go to, I'm just gonna redo Twitter really quickly. I just want to see if there's any more videos coming out of that region here. Yeah, there is some. Oh my god, yeah, that is some damage to a house. Oh, yep, there is some damage. That is ridiculous here. Wow, this is actually coming from a storm chaser over there. I'm going to repost that on Twitter too. Again, one more time for people that want the Twitter for the latest videos of what's going on over here is Tristan, capital TRISTAN. And again, the numbers are 35480 If you do have X or Twitter, by the way, if you do. But I'm also trying to get good information. I want to make sure these videos are real before I send them to you, because I saw a video with AI earlier, which really disgusts me. The west side will be moving to the east side. Yes, he is going to start moving a bit more northeast now due to the trough. Yes. And we give some prayers for Jamaica. I do agree. There should be some prayers for Jamaica in the chat right now. Especially since warning the emergency coordinator suffered a stroke, which is really bad. That's what stress does to you. But we'll get through this together. trying to get the latest information real quick, by the way. So if I'm quiet real quick, I just want to I do want to tell you that I am trying to get as many good videos as possible. Okay, so no, there is no videos right now. Candy asked, when was this? Can you explain what you mean by that so I can answer the question? Oh, if you're talking about the emergency manager, one of the emergency managers suffering a stroke, it is on my Twitter. But again, just in case people have missed it, we're going to say one more time. Where is it? Right here. So this is coming from the local government minister, Desmond McKinley. Or that is the name of the yep, that is okay. Local government minister of Jamaica, Desmond McKinley, said that the Westmoreland's parish disaster coordinator is currently receiving treatment at a hospital after suffering a stroke while carrying out her duties amid Hurricane Melissa. That came in about, it looks like 2 hours ago, but I got the news around right before the 165 move, well, from the National Hurricane Center. So it looks like at least 2 hours ago, may have been a little bit later, depending on when the news happened. But yes, that is confirmed by a government minister. Okay. Give me 1 second. All right, so I think our friend Trevor is about to be on here, especially with the See Jamaica cameras. I want a little bit more info on that, so that way I can find them, so we could get more views on the storm. I know that the one camera on top. Someone says, "How come the cameras around Jamaica do not go with the radar or what they are saying?" There's no radar here. Oh, look at that. That is, what is that? The HWT Transport Center in See Jamaica. Oh, it's See Jamaica, not See Jamaica. I'm an idiot. Hold on, guys. That is my fault, 100%. Excuse me. See Jamaica Live. Thank you. I want that. I want to see if, yes, multiple cameras. Yep, I got multiple cameras now. So the Kingston Harbor is definitely showing some rough surf. Looks like the winds are starting to shake. Definitely around the viewing areas. These cameras are located. The channel is called, and David's been using some of these cameras. See Jamaica. The HWT is shaking a little bit. There's definitely some shaking going on in the Kingston camera. So yes, there is definitely some tropical storm force winds coming in. It's definitely coming into parts of Kingston, or at least tropical storm force gusts. It seems like on the Kingston Harbor. There's a lot of flooding going on. That is really unfortunate. So let's see here. New convection is trying to fire up around the eye wall over land. Let's see if that is correct. Because that might be a result of on the infrared satellite. No, the CDO is sustaining. But there is some signs that there is a bit more cloud tops to the southeast. So there is a little bit more convection maybe firing up here. But due to it being so circular, it is a little bit hard to tell. For me, at least. So we will have to see. There is definitely a lot of rainfall going on in the eastern bands during the storm, with Melissa continuing. Wow. Could it exit as 150 miles an hour? Considering that the storm is already 165, it will most likely weaken to 145. Most likely. It could be 150 though. Excuse me. We're gonna get a position update soon. And it looks like Melissa is halfway through Jamaica right now. Let's go Google Maps real quick and see the potential location of the eye. Let me make sure this is correct because Weather Track US is also a very good Twitter. If people want some decent information. Okay, yes. So the eye is directly south of Montego Bay. It does look like it's on this area. 1 second, let me make sure it's right. Yeah, so it looks like the storm, the eye of Melissa, if we coordinate that, let me see this, Montego Bay, go down. Yes. So it's likely near Cambridge right now. The eye of the storm is likely over or around Cambridge. And will likely go, if we look at the Go 16, because remember, it is moving northeast. So if we go northeast around Cambridge, hold on, National Hurricane Center, what's the direction? Again, did they update it? They did do a 2 o'clock cone. Please tell me you did a 2 o'clock cone. You did do a 2 o'clock cone. Excuse me. Northeast at 8 miles an hour. So it is likely going to be near Maroon Town, well, at least within the next hour. Then if it continues going northeast, the eye will, or the center of Hurricane Melissa would be around the border of the Tallahassee and St. James Parish between Wakefield and Alphafi. If I pronounce it wrong, I'm sorry. But at least we'll say west of Wakefield, Jamaica. And then if it keeps going that way, the eye will likely emerge around the Falmouth, St. Marsh areas, east of the northern states. Who has joined us?
It's easy.
Oh, hi, Easy. Hi, Easy. We were just talking about the path of the eye and its future with the movement.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a page? You are showing info. Is that the Twitter, or are you Because I'm correlating the Ghost 16 satellite images loop and the direction of the storm with Google Maps, which is how I'm getting some of this.
Guys, I'm gonna start sending some Twitter links in chat of some damage reports.
Okay. Also, my Twitter is available. Are you a mod on there? I just want to ask because I can't get my Twitter to highlight on there, which I'm posting damage and information at. If you are a mod, and you can ping this Twitter on the group chat, that would be perfectly appreciated. Okay, so hopefully you're about to get my Twitter, and we're gonna get some Twitter links of more damage that is coming in from Melissa. Gonna repost this too. There's a lot of videos of rushing water around parts of Jamaica now. If you look easy, you can look in the group and put my Twitter as one of the main ones. Also, I do want to see these links too. I need to see what's going on. Maybe repost them. Oh, yep. Okay. Give me a second, y'all. Oh, yeah, I already posted that one. Okay, good. So I'm up to date on the damage. That's good. Someone says there's definitely some convection increasing around the eye. Yep, there likely is some convection around the eye. Excuse me.
Alright, that's all the Twitter links I have written now.
Are you able on the on our group to put my Twitter user real quick on there, since I'm posting a lot of damage on there and updates, so that way the chat can see a lot more of the damage photos, the videos coming in. I mean, there's not a lot else to say. It's a dangerous situation going on right now. Someone said if the ice shrinks, could that be good because it looks like it's shrinking? Ice that shrink over land is good because that means the storm is weakening. That is a good sign. If you do have any questions, chat, please feel free to ask them. By the way. Let's see. I apologize, chat. I'm trying to make sure the stream is updated, and my computer is a tiny bit slow for some reason right now, so I can't see y'all. That's why I do apologize. There we go. Could this make a Cat 5 landfall in Cuba? Because the storm has been, and by the way, hi storm team, it's been a while. How have you been? Because of the trough putting shear and because she's recovering from the landmass, even though it's not as mountainous, I don't think she will, but in trade, the trough will likely give it outflow. The question is, what does her small core do when she reemerges off Jamaica? That's the big question. Because she will have to rebuild some of her structure during the time she is over water. But a category 4 to high-end free landfall is guaranteed, most likely. At this point here. It doesn't matter the strength in some of these situations. Now, in Western Jamaica, the strength matters more because you're a little bit away from the mountains. But in the southeastern Cuba situation, strength is not the most thing we look at. It's how much rain potential there is. And by the Cuban Doppler radar, there are a lot of rain bands going over the area right now of southeastern Cuba, which will likely start triggering mudslides and river flooding really soon. Give me a second. I just want to see where this chaser is. The chaser, we can't show other videos really, but what I'm seeing is, at least in Mandyville, there is big power lines down. I don't know which street this is, but there are definitely some power lines down right now on her on this person's view. Winds are definitely gusting. Yeah, winds are definitely gusting around where this person is at. See, Jamaica, one of the cameras is definitely shaking. Kingston Harbor's camera is also really shaking. Someone says, "Is it me or does my so I have a small problem with words like free, for example, because of the way my tongue is. So the th, some words with th in the beginning are really hard for me. Sometimes. I'm shaking not what a Cat 5 is. On the cameras that I'm seeing, and unfortunately David's asleep, so he's not going to get him. But there is the camera is decently shaking from some tropical storm force winds around the Kingston Harbor. The real Category 5 force winds would have been around, and unfortunately we may not be able to get much from there right now because internet and power is going out. A lot of the Cat 5 winds were likely around White House, New Hope, going down potentially towards the Black River areas of Jamaica. A lot of people are asking, will the storm strengthen after Cuba? The question is, what will her core do after Jamaica? It's not tear it apart. I can tell you that. It's pretty good. It's still sustaining very well. The question is, what does the shear of the trough do? Does it give it more outflow, or do we slowly start to begin to see a sheared system? But there is warm waters in the area between Cuba and Jamaica. If we get sea surface temperatures, let me see if we can get this on here for y'all. At least the sea surface temperatures. Let's get North Atlantic. I want Caribbean. Does it have a Caribbean? Western Atlantic is better. Okay, thank you. The waters are, at least on the sea surface temperatures, are still around 30 Celsius in between Cuba and Jamaica. And the water depth, I believe the oceanic ocean heat content map. I want to make sure I get a good view of this. Ocean heat content. Let's see if they have a. There is a decent amount of ocean heat content of at least around 130 to 160 kilometers. Joules per kilometer, I believe that's what it is. Someone can correct me. But there is definitely a little bit of warm water. But the question is, what does her core do? And how fast does she move due to the trough? Lava, do you know about wind shear? I believe there is a little. Right now, there is not much wind shear on the storm. But when the trough starts to move closer to the storm, right now the trough is just doing the steering mechanism, right? Once that shear gets closer, is she going to balance it out? Like a Hurricane Ian did that. Remember how a jet positive tilt trough angled with the storm? And it was able to help it intensify? In this case, we don't know because of the core. It will all depend on what her core does. But 5 to 10 miles per hour re-strengthening would not be a shocker. But it also wouldn't be shocking if Melissa just sustains or not strengthens at all. It just depends on the evolution of her core when she gets off Jamaica. But so basically, the answer to the question of will she strengthen is I don't know. There's a lot of science that goes involved with what she might do. But I'm going to say sustainment for now. It looks like she's stationary right now. The National Hurricane Center has the north-northeast, the center north-northeast at 8 miles an hour. Which, by the way, an update will be coming out in the next a possible position update. I don't know if they're going to keep doing them since it has weakened. It has weakened a bit, but a new position update, if it does come out, will occur in the next 10 minutes, most likely. Someone said, does the wind field expand as the mountains weaken the system? Yes. Yes. So, since it was a small... It's a small storm, she will expand the wind field a little bit. And that's why I was saying to the people in eastern Jamaica and stuff, there will likely be tropical storm force winds. Of course, the Kingston camera is proving that. It's really shaking. There's definitely some wind coming off the ocean. So yes, a hurricane does expand a little bit, either in the eyeball replacement cycle or when it weakens. So yes, her wind field is expanding at least a little bit. She is a small system, remember that. So it's not Helene, it's not one of these big hurricanes that when you go over land and you weaken, the wind field expands. Or it's not extratropical transition, right? It's more of she's a small system, so the wind will gradually get larger as she weakens. And the mountains can make an effect on that too, because some areas could be not getting tropical storm force winds due to the visits of some of the mountains and hills over there. But again, most likely, the whole island of Jamaica is getting tropical storm force winds. Good question, though. Thank you. So, it seems to me, like at least especially by some of the cameras I'm seeing, and not on the stream, by the way. Dave is asleep, so he can't change those. It's the cameras I'm seeing. There is definitely some tropical storm, too low and hurricane force winds, in some spots. But remember, that's because we can't see what's going on on the western side due to the internet and power outages. So there's likely a lot worse damage. Let me see if I can get any more videos on here. Yeah, oh my god. Ooh. Sounds of tree snapping. Oh, I don't like that. And just letting people know that if information comes a bit slowly, it's not just because of the power and communication outages in the western side of Jamaica. It's also because because people are cruel in this world. So some people are going to do AI videos of damage. Just remember that before. That is why if I post them, I'm posting them to make sure they are correct. If they're not correct, if they look like AI, I will not be posting them on my Twitter. Because some people like to make AI videos of situations like this, which is really unfortunate that some of humanity just think this is a cruel joke, basically. By the way, I'm just reading the chat. If I'm quiet, I do apologize. Just making sure. Unfortunately, no, because I don't have mod access or nothing. So unfortunately, no. We're getting all of this from Twitter. If you don't,
There's no way for us to like show it on stream because I'm currently not connected to David's computer. If I was connected to David's computer, I could change the scenes and everything and show you guys, but the only way we can relay information is through Twitter.
Thank you. But any pictures we do show on Twitter, I am going to make sure they're not AI before we get on. And not only Easy is on the background, sees help. Trevor, please tell me your mic is fixed, first off. And second of all, welcome. Give him a second. Hello?
Alright, what's up?
So we just, first of all, had the strongest landfall in history besides 1935. The winds are right now 165 miles an hour with a pressure of 899 millibars. On my Twitter, I'm posting a lot of damage photos too, for the viewers to see. I just wanted a little bit more. I did want to say that I was confused, but I was typing SEA and not SEE. So one word on the internet can make you go through a different thing. But now we're getting a bit more cameras coming from Jamaica. I'm also watching, I believe, a Chaser, which is over there also. And they're showing flooded roads located, a decent amount of flooding earlier And now some, it looks like some scatter. Maybe the roads are messed up here, but definitely some messed up roads in parts of Mandeville, in around Jamaica. Excuse me. So
One thing I want to take notice of is it's strengthened right near Jamaica.
yeah, it actually did a wobble. The landfall was because of a wobble due to the surface friction from the mountains, influencing her vortex. By the way, if she didn't have that, it would be more of a central Jamaican landfall due to the trough. It's kind of like what you see in typhoons near Taiwan.
Yeah, it's like those typhoons that we see. Catching up on stuff, so give me a minute.
Take a look at the thing I just sent in the group chat. I'll send it in chat as well.
Okay. I didn't know if that was St. Thomas, Jamaica, or another area. Thank you for giving me clarification. By the way, I didn't want to post that if it wasn't. It was not related to the store. But yeah, I can post that too. Then yes, okay, I will do that. For people in there.
Oh, and it looks like the National Hurricane Center just released a update.
Give me 1 second. I need to repost this when as information as possible. And we are looking. By the way, we are looking. If there are AI videos, we want to make sure that we don't post them because people are cruel. Let's see this real quick. Okay. Here's the latest information. So 160 miles per hour. The pressure is 906 millibars. Moving north-northeast or 25 degrees at 8 miles per hour, 13 kilometers per hour. Is about 15 miles, 20 kilometers south of Montego Bay, Jamaica. About 220 miles or 350 kilometers southwest of Guantanamo, Cuba. 160 miles an hour still. Now let's see. 8 miles an hour. Where is the eye location? It's starting to fill in too, by the way.
Yeah.
Finally, the eye is starting to fill in a little bit. I want to get the latest possible position of the eye. 15 miles south of Montego Bay is the center. So if we were to do the math, yeah, that's around let me see that real quick. One more time. We were just talking about the trajectory of the eye. 8 miles per hour. Okay. Yes. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Right between Cambridge and Maronetown, Jamaica, like we said. Yes, is where the eye is. The eye fading is good. It is good for strength. It's bad for moisture, actually, because a broader storm can actually get a bit more moisture from the south on the rain bands. So if we look at the rain bands here, since there's a lot of moisture being pulled up, which means actually, which is really concerning, Cuba is getting a bunch of rain right now. And Haiti is also getting a decent amount of showers and thunderstorms from Melissa. So the flooding threat continues.
Okay, I think we're good. One thing I do like about this is, well, NHC at 10 o'clock Eastern said that this is your last chance to get into shelter. And
yes,
I was like, that was scary to see.
That is scary to see because this storm is very historic for Jamaica. The only good news in a way is that it hit a little bit of a less populated area. The bad news is I'm concerned about those less populated areas that are going to get emergency service help. It just, again, it reminds me of Maria again, where, yes, populated area sort of got dodged, but in trade, it was more time for help. Let's see. Okay. Yep, that's the update right there. A roof of at the Savannah Lamar Public General Hospital in Jamaica was ripped off entirely as Melissa made landfall. I
At
am posting that now.
185.
It made landfall 185. Yeah. Play 900 group chat. So a hospital had its roof flown off, which is really unfortunate right now.
Hey,
Is that Water Kingdom?
yeah, it is.
It is. What's up, Water Kingdom?
Nothing much. Just took a few hours sleep, a few hour nap. What's
The fact that this storm is still 160 is incredible.
what do you mean?
She's still 160 miles an hour, and
That's
she's in the
not
middle
surprising.
of it's in the middle of Jamaica. So
Wow.
yeah, most likely 150 to 130 off Jamaica, considering it's moving a little bit more. It's moving the tad east. Yeah, I could see 150 to 145 when she gets off. We will see though. We will have to see.
Yeah, I'm putting in a lot of stuff on her map.
Wow. How does Jamaica look?
We only got a few decent pictures, but there is hospitals' roofs being blown off and damaged. The warning, one of the emergency people that were doing coordination for help in one of the parishes suffer a stroke, likely from stress from the situation.
Oh God, that's terrible.
Yeah, so this storm is being ridiculous.
I'm sure we're
Wow.
close to the East Pack for Ace.
I'm not concerned on the ace. I'm more concerned on the devastating situation. But just in case anybody on the chat is wondering about the ace, is 123.81.
Okay, so we're close.
Melissa will likely help us beat the West Pacific. Not West Pacific. East Pacific. But that doesn't matter. I'm not concerned about that at all right now because this is a very dangerous situation.
Really,
I'm gonna read.
Concerned about it right now.
Yep. Let me see.
And so after it dies.
Or at least. We are expecting likely at either 5 or 8 o'clock, by the way, maybe considering the National Hurricane Center, their percentages for tropical storm force winds. Bermuda will likely get a tropical storm watch later on. So 3-hour advisories will likely continue for the storm, at least. Just letting y'all know.
for me.
Is this is an incredible storm. All the models are making a category 4 landfall in Cuba, so that does tell me she's not really intensifying after. But again, another thing to note is that the models did overdo her strength a little bit